Now, I want to get into some of my favorite side hustles. I think it's really interesting to take a look and see what is out there. And now it's easier than ever to earn extra money thanks to the rise of the gig economy. Starting can be as easy as downloading an app. Obviously, I can't get into every opportunity here, but I wanted to give you some real examples so that it might inspire an idea for you. One of my friends assembles furniture for people at their homes. He lists his services on Thumbtack and can do 3 to 4 jobs a day. Thanks to the popularity of places like IKEA, he has transitioned from a side hustle to a full-time assembler. Another friend of mine delivers food via a food delivery app on her way home from work. Since the dinner rush starts right as she's ending her workday, she adds a little time to her commute and can earn up to $50 an hour. Her best tip? Wait for the busy time so that the apps pay extra bounties. Then go to a popular place like Chipotle so you can pick up 3 orders at once. Another friend of mine does painting parties. She cuts plywood into squares, brings easels and paints, and maybe most importantly, a case of wine that she also sells on commission to a person's home and has a painting party. As a talented artist herself, she walks a group of eager people through basic painting classes. The participants pay a fee that yields her a nice income, and she advertises on local apps and drums up interest through her Facebook posts. Of course, people need sitters too. My friend has registered with a website where she's a vetted and highly recommended babysitter, specifically for infants, but not exclusively for infants. She works full-time, but then spends a weekend day or evening babysitting kids. Her lowest rate is $20 an hour for the older children, and it goes up to $35 an hour for newborns. My neighbor's kid is also off to a good start learning about business. A couple of years ago, I was using a lawn care service to mow my lawn each week. I have a decent-sized lawn, and so $70 a week was the going rate in my area. This past spring, he asked if he could mow my lawn for $40 a week. It was a deal that I couldn't pass up, and neither could 3 of our neighbors. So, now on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon, he's mowing lawns and making about $40 an hour. You might be familiar with this company, Lime Scooters. They actually have a program for side hustlers called Juicers, but there are a lot of scooter companies out there. If you live in a big urban environment, you've probably seen these things all over the streets. But basically, what these electric scooters do is people rent them, they have a battery, and at the end of the day, they need to be recharged. And so Lime Juicers, at the end of the day on their app, will get to the location of scooters that need to be charged, and they will put a bounty on them saying, hey, we'll pay you 10, 15, $20 to charge up that scooter. So you drive around. I've talked to guys who drive around, find them on the map, throw them in their car, take them home, plug them in. And then in the next morning, once they're charged up, it'll show on the map where the scooters are needed. And so you'll drive around and drop them off. And so you can make probably about $14 or $15 an hour doing this. The other one is a guy named Brian Winch has a really innovative company here. It's called Clean Lots. And it's interesting how he built this company. When you go to a strip mall or an office building, who cleans up the parking lots? The tenants think that the landlord cleans it up. The landlord thinks the landscaping crew cleans it up, and the landscaping crew thinks the tenants clean it up. In fact, no one really picks up litter or cleans up parking lots in particular. And Brian discovered this accidentally because he was walking around, getting some exercise, picking up litter and throwing it in dumpsters. And then he approached the real estate company and said, hey, I've noticed you always have this trash. I'm picking it up. Would you hire me to do it? And he found out that those real estate companies are willing to pay $50 an hour to make sure that their parking lots are clean. And he has been building a business. And in fact, he's hiring people to do it. He's trains on his website on how to find business in your area. And I think the last interview I heard from him, he was making about $500,000 a year doing this. So it's pretty amazing. The other thing, another real person here, May Najafabadi, I'll probably get that wrong, runs a company called Creative Kids Crafts. This is innovative because when you think about schools, they generally get out pretty early, around maybe 3 o'clock. But the end of the workday for most people is about 5 o'clock. So there's this gap when kids get done with school and parents are available to say, pick them up a couple hours. I think that's one of the reasons why after school programs are so popular, or sports or whatever it is. And so May realized that a lot of schools, a lot of districts wanted to offer more and more after school activities. And so she created a craft program that lasts 2 or 3 weeks every day after school from 3 to 5. And it's pretty expensive. It's a few $100s to enroll your kid in it for that few weeks. But then she comes up with these craft projects. It really keeps the kids entertained, and then they can take them home. And not only was there so much demand for the school she was doing it in, but she started doing it in other schools, other districts. And now she sells her plans to people who want to deploy this in their local school districts. And she says, if you want to go every day after school in organize these craft activities, you'll average about $200 an hour doing it. And then if you want to hire someone to do it, you can even make more money. It's pretty awesome little product there. And she's really doing some other interesting things for lower income kids too. Really great creative stuff for side hustles. And then another one of my favorites here, Mark Wills runs a company called the Loan Signing System. I don't know if you've ever heard of a loan signing agent. I didn't know that it existed specifically until I saw the information about this class that he runs. But basically, when you get a mortgage, most states require like a third party independent notary to verify that all the signatures are legitimate, that all the right documents are being signed. And so they will pay generally $100 a closing or about $100 an hour to make sure and supervise that the documents are signed appropriately. So it's like Uber for notaries. And so he teaches you how to one, do it, get registered, become a notary, but then also how to get into the systems that put out these jobs out there. Because a lot of these closings will just list, hey, I need someone at 5 o'clock on this day, and anyone who's available can take it. They don't really care as long as you're licensed to do it. It's really interesting. It's one of those things that you can do as much or as little in some cases. It's really dependent on the real estate market in most areas. Right now could be a really great opportunity, but it might not last forever either.